Where sand meets water, life found a way to bloom. On the banks of the Nile, a river that rose and fell with the rhythm of the world, people learned not just to survive, but to build something that would outlast empires, languages, and time itself. This is the story of ancient Egypt, how a river valley became the spine of a civilization, how kings became gods, and how an empire rose, brilliant, complex, and enduring. Egypt's story begins with water. The Nile provided a predictable annual flood that laid down fertile silt, turning desert into farmland. Unlike civilizations forced to chase rainfall, the Egyptians could plan. Their agriculture supported dense populations, specialization of labor, and the creation of towns and cities along a narrow, life-filled corridor. With food surpluses came time for artisans to craft, priests to ponder the heavens, scribes to invent writing, and leaders to organize. The Nile did more than nourish crops. It shaped society, trade routes, and the rhythm of daily life. Early on, Egypt was divided. Upper Egypt, the rivers stretched to the south, and Lower Egypt, the fertile delta in the north, each developed unique symbols, gods, and rulers. Around 3100 BCE, a decisive moment occurred. A ruler known in tradition as Narmer, Menes, united the two lands, symbolically fusing the white crown of the south and the red crown of the north. Unification meant centralized authority. It allowed large-scale projects, uniform religious practice, and a sense of Egyptian identity that would endure for millennia. The pharaoh was at once king, high priest, and symbol of cosmic order. Egyptians believed that Pharaoh existed to preserve Ma'at, balance, justice, and harmony in the universe. When the river flooded predictably, crops grew. When Ma'at was upheld, the world prospered. This religious political fusion gave pharaohs wide-reaching power. They directed labor, commanded armies, and mobilized resources to build not only tombs and temples, but the framework of state itself, administrative records, taxation systems, and a bureaucracy staffed by scribes. Egyptian kings sought immortality. Their answer was stone. The early step pyramid of Djoser, crafted by Imhotep, transformed funerary architecture from mud brick mounds into enduring stone complexes. Later, the 4th dynasty masterminds, Khufu, Khafra, Menkaura, raised the smooth-sided pyramids on the Giza Plateau. The Great Pyramid, a mathematical and logistical marvel, reflects thousands of workers, organized labor, and sophisticated planning. Contrary to popular myths about slave labor, evidence suggests skilled crews and seasonal laborers built these monuments as a state project supported by food rations and housing, a mobilization that forged social cohesion and showcased state power. When the Old Kingdom's centralized state faltered, Egypt did not vanish. The Middle Kingdom was a renaissance of culture, literature, and internal stability. Pharaohs invested in irrigation, fortified frontiers, and public works that improved living standards. Stronger ties between crown and commoner emerged. Art became more expressive. Tomb inscriptions began celebrating individuals, not just kings. The New Kingdom was Egypt's age of empire. With superior chariotry, professional armies, and seasoned commanders, rulers like Thutmose III pushed into the Levant and deep into Nubia. Trade networks threaded Egypt to the Mediterranean, Arabia, and sub-Saharan Africa, bringing gold, incense, exotic animals, and new artistic influences. This period also produced unforgettable figures: Hatshepsut, who ruled as king and launched trade expeditions to Punt; Akhenaten, who briefly challenged Egypt's religious foundations with Aten worship; and Ramses II, whose reign became the model of royal greatness, architects of temples, warriors of legend, and masters of diplomacy. Religion saturated every corner of Egyptian life. Mortality and eternity were braided into daily ritual. Mummification reflected a profound belief: if the body remained intact, the soul could continue its journey. Tombs were repositories, stocked with food, servants in figurine form, amulets, and spells from the Book of the Dead to guide the deceased through trials and judgment before Osiris. Priests maintained temples, astronomers tracked the stars, and artisans translated cosmology into murals and statuary. Religion was not merely doctrine, it explained seasons, legitimized power, and shaped moral life. Egyptians recorded their world with hieroglyphs, a complex system of signs used for ritual and monumental inscriptions, and hieratic for administrative life. Their scribes kept tax records, legal contracts, and literary texts that reveal values and humor. Their medicine combined practical treatments with spells. Medical papyri show surgical procedures, treatments for broken bones, and knowledge of anatomy. Engineers used geometry to survey fields after floods and to align temples with astronomical phenomena. Craftsmanship in jewelry, pottery, and linen reflected a sophisticated, thriving economy. Egypt's fate was not always triumphant. Periods of decentralization, famine, and foreign incursion punctuated its history. The Hyksos introduced new weaponry and tactics. Later, Persians and Greeks exerted control. Still, Egyptian identity proved resilient. Language, artistic styles, and religious traditions persisted even under foreign dynasties. When Alexander the Great arrived, he embraced Egyptian sanctity. Later, Ptolemaic rulers promoted a fusion of Greek and Egyptian traditions, eventually leading to the famous tragic figure of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of an ancient order. Ancient Egypt's rise was no single event. It was a long story of adaptation, ingenuity, and symbolic power. From the Nile's predictable floods to the audacious projects of its kings, Egypt created institutions, art, and knowledge that shaped the ancient world and continues to fascinate the modern one. Today, we still walk among their stone testimonies, decipher their scripts, and feel the echoes of a civilization that turned the necessity of life into the architecture of eternity. The rise of ancient Egypt is not just a chapter in history, it is a mirror reflecting human creativity, organization, and the desire for meaning beyond a single lifetime. If you like this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which Egyptian figure or topic, pyramids, mummies, or pharaohs, you want us to explore next. Thanks for joining this journey down the Nile.